Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stars and Sports. Here are rappers' chains worth in millions of dollars. Number 10, Slick Rick's Justice Scale chain, $250,000. With more gold than Richie Rich and Mr. T combined, Slick Rick helped pioneer the culture of excess that would come to define hip-hop. As far back as the mid-80s, the man otherwise known as MC Ricky D wore countless necklaces and rings, often with an actual crown, but none of this measured up still to his Justice Scale medallion. Larger than his actual face, the glorious accessory would eventually take on a whole new meaning after Slick Rick was sent to jail when he pled guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder.
So Mr. T was our role model before us. So this is where we come from. We come from the generation after Mr. T. So like my first piece of jewelry was like a ring like this one, you know.
Number 9, Method Man's Ice Pick chain, $25,000. Long before custom jewelry became the norm in hip-hop, Method Man commissioned this impressive piece of bling, which the TSA apparently refused to let through security one time on account of its deadly potential. As an esteemed member of the Wu-Tang Clan, Method Man has laid down some killer rhymes over the years, so it makes sense he'd wear a killer chain too.
See what he did, right? Smacked it right out my hand, pulled the off. Skirt! You don't do that. You get the money first, then you put it in there.
Number 8, Quavo's Ratatouille chain, $250,000. Migos love to get bad and bougie with their jewelry, but Quavo took this to new extremes a couple years ago when he commissioned a chain inspired by a Pixar reference in their hit single, Still Be Playing with Pots and Pans, Call Me Quavo Ratatouille, repping Disney culture. The white gold pendant is covered from head to claw with VVS white diamonds and outmatches even Quavo's Yoda piece in terms of cartoonish absurdity.
This a two-tone white and rose, pivot on the outside. This one costs a little more because of the baguettes. These right here is the Huncho rings.
Number 7, Cam'ron's Harlem World chain, $250,000. A few years back, Cam'ron became public enemy number 1 with the fashion police thanks to his ridiculous and yet also kind of impressive Harlem World chain. Featuring a battery-powered globe that actually spun around and round, the mechanical chain has since been bought by Lil Yachty, who swapped out the words Killa Cam Harlem World and replaced them with Yachty's World. Number 6, Lil Jon's Crunk Ain't Dead chain, $500,000. At the time it was made, Lil Jon's Crunk Ain't Dead chain was the largest diamond pendant ever created, and ironically enough, its appeal endured long enough after Crunk itself died on the charts. Almost bigger than Lil Jon itself, the infamous chain weighed over 5 pounds and even wound up in the Guinness Book of World Records. Although its title has since been snatched by another Lil Jon's most impressive creation, remains one for the history books.
I'm gonna work with like my boy Rick Rubin. I might work with my boys from Korn. I'm gonna work with my boys from Good Charlotte, Joel and Benji, Pharrell, people from...
Number 5, Lil Uzi Vert's Marilyn Manson chain, $220,000. In an industry fueled by swagger that verges on arrogance, it's fascinating to see a relative newcomer like Lil Uzi Vert pay homage to another artist on one of his most expensive chains, particularly who doesn't even work in the realm of hip-hop. Still, it's easy to see why Marilyn Manson might appeal to the rapper's own dark side. After all, it wasn't so long ago that he pushed us to the edge with his triumphantly dark single, EXO Tour Life. We wouldn't be surprised if Lil Uzi pushed his accountants to the edge as well. Number 4, T-Pain's Big Ass chain, $410,000. More expensive than either a small-ass chain or a regular-sized chain, T-Pain's big-ass chain weighs over 10 pounds and is encrusted with nearly 200 carats worth of diamonds. Although he's since told Vice that this $400,000 purchase was the dumbest shit I ever did in my life, there's still something rather impressive about the sheer audacity of spending that much money on something so ridiculous. Number 3, Kanye West Horus chain, $300,000. Remember when Mr. West wore a humongous medallion in the video for Power? Sure, that price tag is almost as heavy as the chain itself, and it's pretty bold of Kanye to compare himself with an actual deity, but it also gives off an otherworldly vibe that suited the song perfectly. It's also rather fitting that this chain would pay homage to an avian god like Horus, given the bird-brained antics that Kanye has put us through in recent years. Number 2, Young Berg's Transformers chain, $70,000. Riding high on the success of his single Sexy Lady, Young Berg treated himself to an expensive chain modeled on the robot franchise Transformers, because why the fuck not? However, there's more to this story than meets the eye, because not long after, the chain was stolen from him and new pictures of it started circulating the internet. At one point, it even ended up in the hands of Soulja Boy. Number 1, Rick Ross's Rick Ross chain, $1.5 million. Running up a total of over $1.5 million, Ross's chain is not only the most expensive on this list, but it's also the most ridiculous too. The original piece was literally a replica of Ross's face, and that alone is worthy of a standing ovation. But then the entrepreneur went one step further and created a bust of himself wearing the piece 2 in what can only be described as a classic case, chainception. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.